What is up, y'all? Hope everybody's good. I didn't get a chance to stop in the back and see many of you yesterday. It was a really quick, I had a lot going on. Really compressed day, and then I had appointments after this, after I got out of here. So I'm sorry. I meant to come back and chat with a few of you. I know a couple of you had some things you wanted to talk about. But man, the day just got away from me. But anyway, I will see you today and we'll talk. And I think we're going to have some peanut butter pie at some point today, too. So I made extra. It's just a matter of whether or not they're completely frozen yet. So I'm going to check on those as well. Anyway, wanted to thank you guys. I really want to thank you guys. Yesterday's speech to some kids who are either homeless or transitioning out of homelessness, or have experienced it at some point in their life, it went very, very well. And it went very, very well because of your input. You guys gave me a lot of great suggestions. The topic yesterday was coping mechanisms and how we deal through situations that seem just overwhelming and insurmountable. You know, something that you just won't be able to get through. And actually, what I did was I took your suggestions from the little cards that you guys gave me, which were awesome, and I appreciate those, and I read some of those off. But I also took a suggestion from one of you all that I asked for. You know, I always ask you for ideas for videos, and one of you gave me the other day the idea of hope. And that struck me really, man, that just got me in the heart. And then you actually told me about a dream that exemplified hope for you. I thought it was so powerful. It was really, really cool. And I got to thinking about that a little bit more and how powerful hope is. And if you don't have hope, how easy it is to just become, just kind of lost and stuck and just feeling, whatever we feel, angry, upset, depressed, all of the things. And that struck me. So yesterday I really took the notion of hope and I said exactly, what I think you know who you are when I'm talking about you. Thank you again for that. But I used the topic of hope. Back when I was going through my period, you guys, I didn't have any hope. I really didn't. Yesterday, I told really intimate details of my story and just how hopeless it was. And some of you have seen the documentary. You've heard some details, but not all. And really, I was at a state of absolute hopelessness, even though on outward appearance, right? You guys know it seemed like I had everything going for me and like I was on top of the world because of, Mr. Popularity, homecoming king, prom king, football champion of the state, and all kinds of stuff. Things looked great, but I was hopeless inside. I had no expectations for my future. Certainly not going to college wasn't on my radar. Becoming a dad and being a good dad, having a job like this where I get to do what I love and work with you all who I love, and just living out my passion. This was not on my radar. There was no hope at that time, and so for me it was really hard to dig out of that. And I get that. So, and I know I've heard it from you guys. I've heard it many times from you guys that you feel hopeless and that you feel, what am I working toward? Because when I get out of here, it's just going to be the same old thing, or I'm going to be just like my mom or my dad. And we're not, by the way. We're not going to be like, if we have bad examples, you guys know how I feel about breaking that cycle. And you have to have hope for that. You have to hope for yourself that you can break out of that cycle, that you're going to change lives after that. That's hope. And if you don't have that, if you can't envision that, we got to work on that, or you got to work on that. You really got to concentrate. And it takes some work. I'm not going to lie. It takes some work because, man, for years, I just didn't have it. And I didn't have anybody instilling the visions in my head of what I could be and what I could make out of my struggle and all the things. So that's what I continue to try to communicate to you guys through these videos, is that your hope, and I have hope for you guys. I have a tremendous amount of hope. Our whole staff has a tremendous amount of hope for every single one of you, that you are going to take what you have experienced here or prior to coming here, and you're going to start to turn that into a positive actions. You're going to start to turn that into a positive life and start shooting upward rather than spiraling downward. That's hope. We all have it for you. And I think sometimes, unfortunately, the last person to have hope is the person who is going through the challenges. So Yeah, that was a great message to share with the kids that I spoke to yesterday, and they really loved it. I had many of them come up to me afterward and talk with me about exactly that. And also, I wanted to share this with you guys that more than a few kids, and these are kids all across the state they came from. They wanted me to thank you. They wanted me to also tell you that there's hope for you as well. They wanted me to tell you that even though you're in a place where you can't go home and you can't be with friends and family, and it just seems hopeless right now, it's not. They have also felt those feelings, and they're making situations better, and they're gaining hope, and that feels good, and they're building off that momentum and changing their life. They're doing it by leaning on good resources, good people and supports to them, and they're doing it by just keeping that mindset that this is my story, and my story is not going to be one where I just fall into the same old thing that happened to me before this and live the life that everybody expected me to live. Mine is hope that I'm going to break the cycle, I'm going to prove everybody wrong, and I'm going to be great, period. And I believe that for you guys, every single one of you. And if you don't believe it, I invite you definitely to just maybe, that's why I use my story all the time. Reflect on my story. Where was there an opportunity to have hope? Right? There wasn't until people started to really rattle that into my head, and I had to sit and think about, do I want to be a victim to what's happened to me, or do I want to use that as fuel and start proving people wrong and start making a life that I have in my mind I want, and use all of it to make that happen. And that's the decision I made. And it wasn't an easy one, and it didn't come naturally. It came with a lot of hard work. It came with me failing a few times. It came with me falling on my face and trying again and trying to get it right, And here I sit, 42 years old today, still doing that, still falling, still failing, still in all kinds of ways fall short. But I always hope, my hope is to continue to be better than I was yesterday, and to continue to be better for you all than I was the previous day as well. And so let's hold on to it. Let's give each other hope. Let's give each other hope, because man, that's a powerful thing too, that when you're going through a situation and you find somebody else in a similar boat, there's a lot of power in bonding through hoping together and encouraging each other and giving each other visions of, hey man, you're going to make, or hey man or woman or girl or whoever, you're going to make a difference when you get out of here. You're not going to do the same stuff. You're not going to hang with the same bad influences. You're going to get to school, do the things you need to do, build that life, man, and make it. Let's do it. Build each other up. Build hope in each other. That's my wish to you guys today, definitely, because it's so powerful. And again, I thank you all very, very much for helping me get a message to those that needed hope yesterday. And I remind you also that they want to express back to you, keep going, keep hoping, and lean on those people that are there to give you hope. All right. Appreciate it, guys. I hope to have a piece of peanut butter pie with you at some point today. Cycle breakers, y'all. That's what we are. We're going to do it. So cycle breakers unite, okay? As always, thanks, guys.